Rotary Club of Bombay West and Maharashtra Societies Welfare Association to this 13th program on layman housing laws. For a change today, we will be having 3 speakers talk to us on 3 different subjects as compared to 2 speakers in the past. The first speaker will be Mr. Hiralal Sudhar. Rotarian Hiralal Sudhar is a well-known advocate who practices cooperative society housing laws and has been a pillar of this program. He has been addressing the meetings on all programs in the past and will continue to do so during this year. Mr. Hiralal Sudhar. He will talk to us on membership and transfer of shares in cooperative housing society under recent ordinance which became effective from 9th March 2019. The second speaker of the day will be Mr. Tejas Sura. Tejas Sura is a graduate and also has a master's degree in structural engineering from University of Texas in Austin, USA, and specializes in repairs and strengthening of earthquake-affected structures. He has more than 25 years of experience in this area, and he will talk to us about structural audits under the Cooperative Housing Societies Act. Our third speaker of the day is Mr. Rohan Shukla. Rohan Shukla is having 13 years of experience in waterproofing and paints industry. He has worked with companies like Saint-Gobain, Asian Paints, MYK, and is currently with Dr. Fixit Pidilite. He has been involved in waterproofing and painting for more than 2,000 cooperative societies across Mumbai. Mr. Rohan Shukla will talk to us about waterproofing of buildings. So, without further taking your time, I request Mr. Hiralal Sudhar to take over the meeting.
The bill has been drafted and placed before the House on 28th June, but I tried to get the information about the gazetting because there was a message. There are 2 types of messages in social media. One is that the bill has been given to the select committee, and the other is that the bill has been passed, signed by the governor, and has been gazetted also. I tried to find the gazette, but I could not get it. So we go on the presumption that the bill has been placed and it has not been sent to the select committee. If it has been sent to the select committee, then the government may come out with third time, come out with the fresh ordinance. Now the topic which I intend to cover today has been listed in my slide. The structure of the amendment is, I will describe the structure of the amendment. First of all, a new chapter has been added to the Act, that chapter 13B, which has 32 sections. Friends, I had dealt with this chapter while discussing amendments of the entire bill, ordinance before this, 2 lectures back. However, since I am on the typical topic, I will deal with the overall structure of the amendment. So that 32 section, the first section says that certain provisions will apply to the housing societies with amendments. And the second part says that certain section of the Act will not apply to the housing society. For housing society, chapter 13B provision will apply. There are drastic changes as far as the membership is concerned. The definition of associate member has been totally changed. The nominal members, even though those are defined under section 219, under the parent, I will refer to the parent act vis-a-vis the chapter 13B, so that it will be easy to understand. So subsection 19 of section 2 defines nominal member, which is now not applicable to housing societies. Associate member having drastically changed. The two new membership definition is provisional member, which has been defined as absolutely temporary membership of the society till the time the society gets application from the legal head of the deceased in case of transfer of shares, in case of demise of member. And the third is joint member. To certain extent, previous definition of associate member, some part of it is included in the joint member. I'll come to the definition. Now, out of this listed provision, first and second I will deal with in detail. Person liable to be eligible to be members is very important because there are very good important additions to the eligibility of the person, which I come. Then 4 and 5 I will deal with last. I will seek to transfer of shares in case of sale of the property, and then last one, 7th one, transfer of share in case of demise of a member, and then time permitting we will go to the previous one, 4th and 5th. Because primarily today's seminar is meant for the last 2 items basically. But it is necessary to understand the definitions, and therefore I will start with the definition. Now, see the members definition, these are the provisions which are not applicable to cooperative housing societies. The definitions are still there in the parent act. Let me tell you, those have not been deleted. However, these definitions will not apply to the housing society. As far as the member is concerned, that definition is the same, copy to copy, under chapter 13D also, with some changes. Member means a person joining in an application for registration of cooperative society which is subsequently registered, or a person duly admitted to a membership of society and registration includes a nominal member and associate member. As far as the later part is concerned, nominal member and associate member, this part is missing in the definition of housing society, which will come in a subsequent slide. As far as the definition of member is concerned, this particularly 2 sentences, the first 2 lines have been ditto to ditto there in the new provision. Coming to active member concept is not applicable to housing societies. There is no concept of active member. Previously it was introduced and it means member who participate in the affairs of the society. This definition is not applicable to cooperative housing societies. Then associate member means who hold jointly a share of a society with others but whose name does not stand for this certificate. This was the definition in the parent act. Now associate membership definition has been changed. It includes close relative. Now you can, a member can recommend the associate member only if those people are covered under the category of father, mother, husband, wife, son, daughter, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, nephew and niece. These are the only categories out of which one has to select the associate membership. One thing. Secondly, in the old definition, associate membership means that can be the name of the associate member in the death certificate. Whereas under the current definition, which comes in the second slide, it specifically says that the name of associate member shall not be in the share certificate as per the amended definition. So this is the difference you have to note down. Yeah, nominal member in the first slide. Section member, associate member, nominal member. These are not applicable to housing society. Coming to the what is applicable to housing society exclusively. Now the definition covered here are only applicable to housing society, even though it is a part of the act. These definitions have been included in chapter 13D and therefore those will be applicable only and only to housing societies. Now the first is a member, means a person joining in an application for registration of society, and when the society registers they become member of the society. That is the first part of the definition. If some of the persons flat owners have not joined as a promoter member, then after registration of society, they can make an application to the managing committee, and managing committee can admit them. So in the totality, the persons who join as a applicant, promoter member, will be deemed to be member of the society on his registration. Now, if there are more than one flat owners and they have applied for membership, both as a promoter member also, and if they have not joined as a promoter member, subsequently also, in that case, the person whose name stands first in the share certificate will be the member, and the subsequent persons will be called joint member. So, joint member definition I have introduced, and it deals with, it is coming in the next slide. Joint member is a person joining in an application for registration of housing society who is subsequently registered, a person who is duly admitted as a membership in the registration and who holds share, right, title, and interest in the flat also. Now see the difference. Associate member now does not have interest in the property. Joint member is necessarily having the interest in the property, means he is having a joint ownership of the flat. It's a very important distinction. His name will necessarily be there in the share certificate also, but not first, second, third, fourth, or as the case may be. Provision member is another very important definition, and as I look into it, this is very useful for the societies also, beneficial, and for the members also. The reason is, if you see the definition, it speaks that provision member is a person who is temporarily admitted as a member of the society. Temporarily. Now take it in the context of nomination filed by the deceased member, which will come later on when I deal with the transfer in case of demise of a member. So provision member is absolutely temporary till the time the legal heir of the deceased step into the shoes of the deceased for the ownership of the property as well as for the purpose of membership of the society. If you have any question, please note down the question. I'll rush through this and then I'll deal with the questions. Then another important aspect is definition of person. Very, very important. There is a huge change in this. Previously, person was not defined under the Act. In the Parent Act, Section 22 is there, but there is no definition of person. Section 22, which deals with the admission of a member, specifies that an individual will be either competent to contract, then partnership firm or a company which have been registered under respective law, then the state government, central government, and the local body. Public charitable trust which have been registered under the Registration Act and the charitable law. This was the limited scope. If I be specific, see, HUF was not part of the Section 22, and therefore HUF could not become member of the society even if it owns the property. Let me tell you, we understand that HUF purchases the property, but HUF is acting under the name of the either the Karta or in the name of any of the member as may be decided by the HUF. Now HUF has been specifically included in the definition of person, and therefore now the HUF can become member of the society. It will be represented by the person who is authorized to represent the HUF. So it's a very important addition. Another very important addition is, as far as the partnerships are concerned, those may be registered under the Partnership Act. Companies are registered under Partnership Company Law. LLP were not the part of the definition under Section 22. Now LLP have been specifically included because the LLP is a new concept that law came sometime in the year 2009. And therefore LLP can also become member of the society. Very important one change at public trust, which was previously required to be registered under Registration Act and the Public Trust Act. Now any trust, even the private trust, see previously private trust like HUF cannot become member of the society. Now in the private trust, the family trust we call them. Private trust means the family trust. even family trust can own the property and become member of the society. Previously, the membership was not available to private trust, which were not registered because the precondition was that any trust or association must be registered a relevant law. Now, registration clause has been removed under the present definition, and therefore, any private trust, family trust, or for that matter, any trust which is not registered can also become member of the society. The next definition, local authority was there previously. Association person is another very important addition. AOP we call it or BOI we call it, body of individual association person. Any group of individuals who come together without purpose or they happen to be without purpose, they happen to be joint owner of the property. Those are called AOP and BOI, body of individual. They are not registered under any law. Even then, now they can own the property also and they can become a member of the housing society. I am not specifically using the word housing society. Please understand when I say housing, when I say society, it includes the housing society because they are dealing with chapter 13D only. This AOP, HUF will not be applicable to other than housing society. Say for example, there is a farmer society, milk society, sugarcane society, fishery society. This definition given here will not be this HUF, there cannot become member of that society. HUF, AOP, BOI, unregistered trust, family trust, these are all applicable only and only to housing societies. I think I am clear about this.
Sir, not for premises also?
Premises applicable, yeah, but not an industrial society. Only premises society. And entity as may be notified other. This is another provision which is missing in section 22. Now, as far as the housing society is concerned, the government has got a power to notify any entity under the definition of person. And when the definition of person includes that entity as notified by the government, that entity will be eligible to become member of the society, housing society. Company is already in section 22 also it was there in the parent act and now also it is part of the definition. Company, partnership, LLP was not there which has been added. HUF was not there which has been added. AOB, BOI was not there which has been added. Unregistered trust has been added. So these are all additions, but none of these additions will be applicable to other than housing society. Any legal body which can hold lower property is also an additional entry which is missing in section 22. See, why this definition is important, friends? When you make an application for membership of the society, previously we were handicapped by lack of these additions. Because section 22 was very narrow in concept, because that is applicable to all the societies. Not only housing society. Now housing society, there is a special chapter and therefore the definition have widened the scope of the person who can become member of the housing society. Restriction on transfer, I told you, over and notwithstanding anything contained in section 22, the society may admit any personage, associate, joint or provisional member. Now, nominal member cannot be admitted which was there in section 22. It has been done away with as far as the housing society are concerned. So, all associate member, which associate member not under the parent act, under chapter 13B, which has in the definition, means those 11 categories which he mentioned. Those can become member irrespective of section 22. See, let me tell you why this particular wording. Section 22 is the provision which enables an applicant to file an appeal if his application is not considered by the society within 90 days of its submission. And therefore, section 22 is very much applicable, but that part of the section which has been redefined under this act, that part is replaced. Means the appeal provision still remains. So section 22 is very much applicable, but necessary amendment. Necessary amendment is the definition of person has been added. I am coming to that. There is a slide to that effect. So associate member have also right to stand in the election, but associate membership is now restricted to the wish of the original member. If original member wants to exercise his right through an associate out of those categories mentioned, then those members, even though their name will not be in the share certificate, they will be eligible to contest and participate in the election. Joint member, at the time of definition, I told you that they are otherwise also liable because they are joint owner of the property also, apart from being the joint member. 5 and 6 I told you will deal with once I completed the transfer position on the 6 and 7. The member can transfer his share right and title and interest of his property in the society by way of registered document by following due process as provided in the rules of the bylaws. Now let me tell you, this particular wording by registered document was part of, and still it is a part of your bylaws 38, which has one entry 5 or 6 sub-entry in clause. It says that a registered document, Silvers Parliament says that a stamp duty paid and registered document, and one time, somewhere in 2001, it used to be only stamp duty paid agreement. Now, registration is a compulsory under Act itself. So, bylaws cannot provide that stamp duty paid agreement can only be eligible. You have to have a registered document. So, let me tell you, when I transfer the property by way of sale, or by way of gift, or by way of release, or by way of exchange of the flat. In all these circumstances, there has to be a registered agreement. See, that is not covered by section 112. That comes in the next section 13. As far as this section is concerned, we are dealing here with the transfer of shares when there is a sale of the flat by way of sale deed, by way of gift deed, by way of deed of release, or by way of deed of exchange. Now one more thing. In the previous subsection, section 10, if you see, except when there is a contract to the contrary, a member of cooperative housing society shall not be entitled to any title, interest in any plot of land or dwelling unit in a building or a cooperative housing society until he has made such payment of as may be specified by the cooperative housing society toward the cost of such plot of land or the construction of such dwelling unit, as the case may be, to the cooperative housing society. Second part, no member shall be eligible to be appointed, nominated, elected or co-opted. We will have to go to the previous one. I am talking to the provision subject to provision of Transport Property Act or Registration Act. Any allotment, including allotment of the plot of land or dwelling units in a building of a housing society to its members as per terms of allotment shall entitle such member to hold and such plot of land or dwelling units with such title, right and interest. That means you can be member of the society without title also. If your document is not registered under the Transport Property Act and Registration Act. What are the documents which are covered by Transport Property Act? Those documents are the sale deed, gift deed, and other deed of transfer, deed of exchange, and release deed. These are the documents which are covered by Transport Property Act. And therefore, unless those documents are registered, even though you are a member of the society, you are having the possession of the property, you do not have a marketable title. That means if you go to sell the property, the purchaser may not buy because you don't have a document registered under Registration Act and executed under provisions of Transport Property Act. So what is the meaning of this? A society is at liberty to admit you provided there is a registered document. any document which is covered under Transfer of Property Act, as I told you. So this is how there is a condition over here. Now we go back to 12 only. Now due procedure as provided in the rules. Now so far, as far as the bill has not been converted into an act, the government will not be able to come out with the rules. Even the bylaws will not have been changed. As of today, we have to follow the old bylaws. Now, old bylaws, as far as this is concerned, is bylaw number 38 of the model bylaws. At present, the government may come out with the rules also, and the bylaws will also be changed accordingly. But as far as of today, we have to rely on bylaw number 38, which has mentioned 1 to 12 item various, where you have to complete those formalities for membership of society and transfer of shares to your name. Okay. Now the next is 13 is very important, and there are drastic changes on the transfer of shares on demise of a member. Now let me tell you, Section 30 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Society Act was there and was applicable to housing and premises society also. Even now also Section 30 is applicable. However, that is applicable with necessary changes. Now what are those changes? Those changes are specified in Section 154B30. Now I will tell you, it's a very important to understand, at least for the management of the societies. The persons who are in the management of the society have to clearly understand. Because previously also they used to make a mistake in case of transfer on demise of a member. Now with these changes, they don't understand, the entire system will play havoc. So let me be very clear. I repeatedly tell you once or twice as to what is the correct position. Section 30 was divided into two parts. Subsection 1, limb 1, it said that on demise of a member, if he has filed a nomination, the nominee shall be admitted to the membership. My friend, shall be, that the society did not have an option to say no. Once nominee applies, the society has to necessarily admit. Let me tell you an important thing. Nominee is someone who is not relative or family member of the deceased. On the demise of a member, his legal have come forward. But the society has on record the nomination filed under Rule 25 of the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Rule. It is on record of the society. So even though the legal has come forward, as far as there is a nomination, as per Section 30, the society has to admit the nominee, but under the old law. Now under the amended law, the position has been rightly amended. Now the new section says that on the death of a member, okay, I will give you the second limb of Section 30 for clarity. If there is no nomination, then the person which is in the opinion of the society, legal heir of the deceased, can be admitted by the society. That was the provision under Section 30. Now this has been totally reversed under the new provision. Now the starting point is, on the death of a member of a society, the society shall transfer share, right, title and interest in the property of the deceased member in society to a person or persons on the basis of testamentary document, succession certificate, legal heirship certificate or documents of family arrangement executed by the persons who are entitled to inherit the property of the deceased member or to a person duly nominated in accordance with the rules. Now, how this provision is, in my opinion, salutary provision. The reason is, first of all, under the old provision, Section 30, the society did not have a right to look into the will, to look into the family arrangement. The society had only option to tell the people to go to the court and get the probate or the succession certificate. Now at this point of time, let me bring your attention to succession certificate. Succession certificate does not deal with immovable properties. It deals only with the movable property. Now, why the society is asking for the succession certificate? If you have seen, every time the society will say get us a succession certificate or get us a probate if there is a will. Now, the share certificate is a movable property because society is not empowered to give title to the property. The title is governed by Transfer of Property Act and to certain extent under MOPA. As far as the society is concerned, it is concerned only with the share, which is a movable property, and therefore they are asking for the succession certificate. In case of succession certificate, the share will be transferred to you as the certificate. Now the four documents mentioned here are testamentary document. Normally we call it will. Now the society can look into the will, and as per the will, if the legal heir of the deceased come to a settlement, then they draw family settlement deed, which again is not required to be compulsory registrable document under the Registration Act. A will is also not compulsory registrable document. A family settlement deed is also not compulsory registrable document, and therefore there is a simple process that if there is a will, the family may sit together and as per the wishes of the deceased, they draw a family settlement deed, sign it, give to the society along with the necessary application. Now, since the rules have not been notified so far because the act, it has not become an act so far, as of today, bylaw number 30 can be relied upon. Bylaw number 34 deals with the nomination, and bylaw 35 as of today deals with the legal head. So, till the time the legal head come forward, what happens? Say for example, legal head have a dispute. They are not ready to sit together. In that case, the society will not have any person on record to deal with, to whom they will give the maintenance bill. And therefore, there are two provisos added to section 122(b)(13). What are these provisos? Proviso first speaks that, provided that society shall admit nominee as a provisional member after death of a member till legal heir or heirs or a person who is entitled to flat and shares in accordance with the succession law or under a will or a testamentary document are admitted as member in place of such deceased member, provided further that if no person has been so nominated, society shall admit such person as provisional member as may appear to the community to the heir or legal duty of the deceased member in a manner as may be provided. What is the meaning of this? So even though the section says that the legal heir have a right to come forward, they come immediately, there is no issue. But if there is a nomination, and if it takes time for the legal heir to come together, the society can look forward and nominee can apply, but nominee will be admitted as a provisional member, unlike the previous position. Previously, the nominee used to be admitted as a member of the society. And many times I have seen in my practice that in the share certificate, the one, and therefore when the secretary changes, or when the transfer documents are prepared by Dalal kind of people and not by the lawyer dealing with the property matters, then the flat used to be transferred by the nominee member also. You may have also come across. Nominee doesn't have a right to transfer the property. But because there is a certificate in the set, there is a endorsement of the certificate in the name of the nominee, the people used to transfer. Even secretary will have no idea unless he looks into IJ register and the share register. And therefore, now it is very clear that you have to mention provisional member. Now, provisional member definition हमने देखा, it is temporary membership. Till the time these things happen. what happens if there is a will, probate होने के बाद the legally will step in, or if there is no will, under the succession provision, if it is Hindu succession or Mohammedan act. If it is Christian, then Indian succession act. Whichever law applicable.
The nominee and the heir both are same.
No.
Your husband and wife, husband employs the wife,
Yeah.
wife is the nominee.
Yeah.
So nominee and the heir is the same. No? So then,
See, it is a matter of procedure. If the wife is applying in her capacity as a nominee, then she is not standing there as the legal heir of the deceased. See, difference is not understood. No, not automatic. अगर automatic होता था तो provision क्यों होता था? A daughter, a son or a spouse, husband or wife, we know they are the legal heir, and all of them have been nominee also. Spouse, daughter and son are the nominee under Rule 25, society accepted the nomination. When it comes to demise of the member, all the three will apply under bylaw number 34. They will not apply under bylaw number 35 because they are getting the benefit of the nomination. There are only three legal heirs of the deceased and three are the member. Even then they will be admitted as a provisional member. Why? Because they are applying in the capacity as a nominee of the deceased. They are not applying in the capacity as a legal heir of the deceased. Now as far as the legal heir is concerned, as I told you, there are two branches. If there is a will, there has to be probate. If there is no will, there has to be Hindu succession provision, personal law. So this is how you have to look into. There can be another situation, gentlemen, where there is no nomination also, and the legal heirs are not ready to sit together. There is a dispute in the family. Then you have to look for the second proviso. Admit such person as provisional member as may appear to the committee to be the heir or legal representative of the deceased member in the manner as may be prescribed. Now see, there is a very good safety feature over here. And many societies are facing this problem today under the present law because there is no nomination and the legal heirs are not coming forward because of that issue. Now the society can look forward to any person. For example, somebody staying there, the wife of the deceased or a husband of the deceased who was the owner and member of the society. Right? There may be other legal heirs somewhere else. But this family along with the children were staying there, they were born and brought up, it is known to the chairman, secretary and the entire society. So there is a sufficient reason for the committee to recognize them as an eligible legal heir or legal representative of the member, deceased member, and therefore they can tell them that please apply for membership for the time being. Yeah. But joint member, their capacity will be provisional member. See, in this situation, they will be admitted, but admitted as a provisional member. Why? Because there is no nomination on the one hand, on the other hand, they are not coming forward in their capacity as a legal head. Any doubt until when this particular provision?
So, provisional member cannot set up member.
Yes. Provisional member is absolutely a temporary arrangement. Even though he is a legal heir, as the settlement said, as far as he is there as a provisional member, he has not right to sell the property. He doesn't have the, see, when a person breathes his last, without will, without anything under the personal law, the property gets vested into his class 1 legal heir equally. That vesting takes place automatically. You don't need a document of transmission. See, transmission is automatic. The moment a member of the society is owner of that breathes last, all the rights in the property have been equally vested into all the legal heirs of class 1. Now, who are class 1 legal heir? You may be surprised. Father is not legal heir of class 1. Mother, spouse, and children. If the children are predeceased, then the branch. As a branch is a 1 unit. All will share equally all the properties, and property has already got vested into them. What is required to be done is the formalization. Now, how to do the formalization? Either by family settlement deed or by something documentation like release deed and lease deed. There are the various methods of doing it under the given circumstances. But the point is, if there is no nomination and if the legal has not come forward, then the society has got a right to ask any person in whose society's opinion who is the legal head. Now, opinion may be wrong also, but on the record of the society, they know that this is a gentleman staying here right from beginning. These are the children, so they are possibly the legal head. There may be other legal heads somewhere else, but society can admit them as a provisional member. So there is no chance when you write a provisional member, there is no chance of any mistake at the society level also and at the flat purchaser level also. Because share certificate में clearly लिखा होगा provisional member. Yes, provisional member's name will be there on the share certificate, but it will be provisional member. Unlike previous cases में मैंने बोला कि nomination नहीं लिखते थे, लिखना चाहिए था previous भी also. X Y Z nominee member. Now it is compulsory because there is no concept of association. See, as of today, bylaw number 34 required because the rules have not been published because it has not taken place as an act. The moment it becomes an act, the government will come out with the rules also and will come out with the amended bylaws also. As of today, bylaw number 35 will apply. One of the requirements of bylaw 35 is the public notice. That is a valid reason. Why public notice? Because when a society transfers the legal heir, not as a provisional member, legal heir, then the title of the legal heir is much better than the title of the provisional member. And therefore, they don't know the deceased ने property किधर mortgage किया है या कोई charge create किया है कि नहीं. And therefore, it is a part of the condition because title of the legal heir and the bylaw 35 is a much better title. And therefore, before transferring to the legal heir, the public notice is required to invite the objections.
प्रोविजनल बनाने के लिए देना पड़ेगा.
प्रोविजनल बनाने के लिए देना पड़ेगा. प्रोविजनल का कॉन्सेप्ट में नहीं आता है because provisional is governed by bylaw number 34. See, joint member is necessarily, as you have seen the definition, joint member is necessarily joint owner in the property, and therefore, whenever the property is to be transferred by way of sale, give, release or exchange, the joint member has to be part of the selling party. Okay, I understand. Say for example, you say A, B, C are the joint owner of the property, B expires or A expires, then A legal heir will come in picture. In that case, B and C are very much there. The right is not removed by demise of A, but A's place will be taken by the legal heir of A or the nominee of A, as the case may be. So the right, say for example, in case of A, there is a nomination filed in favor of X. Now X will take place of A, so X plus B plus C. Who is the owner? B and C are the owner to the extent of 1/3 and 1/3. 1/3 के लिए there is a nomination act. So legal heir of A will come in picture as and when they come together under the rules that may be published subsequently. So friends, this is my time is over. Now we go to the questions. Provision has not become an act. Till the time, see what is the mention, when an act may be prescribed. Now when it will be prescribed? When it becomes an act. It has not become the law so far and therefore it has not been prescribed. So there will be rules prescribed for the purpose. Once the rules are prescribed, the bylaws will be accordingly changed. But as of today, as a lawyer, we have been advising the people that till the time it comes, please rely on bylaw number 35. Because bylaw number 35 has got sufficient security network by way of public knowledge. In any case, let me tell you, as I have told you, 154 week मैंने वो प्रोवाइड को बताया कि जब तक ट्रांसफर प्रॉपर्टी एक्ट और रजिस्ट्रेशन एक्ट के डॉक्यूमेंटेशन नहीं है, तब तक you will not have a marketable title in your hand, even though you are a member of the society. Even if you are a member of the society under 13, if you do not have the appropriate document, now see what happens. When a person expires, his property goes to his legal hand. Now they don't have any document in their hand to prove the title. पिताजी या तो माताजी का जो document था होगा है. Now purchaser will ask for the document. So what do? You have got an option if there is no will. If there is a will, to go for the probate and the executor will execute a deed of transfer on 100 rupees stamp paper and register it. If there is no will, then what will happen? If there is no will, normally we advise that, say for example, there are two daughters, A and B. Mother expired, who was the owner of the property. A and B are equal, vested with the right on demise of mother, correct? Now what document can be there? So normally we suggest that you do one thing. आपका जो 50% शेयर है, एक डॉटर है ना, वो दूसरे सिस्टर को 1% रिलीज डीड कर दे. That means a release deed come into existence, wherein our instead of 50-50 they give 51-49. But the release deed is a document of title in the property. There was nothing previously. So this is how it can happen. Release deed not necessary that it should be without consideration. Let me tell you. The release deed can be with consideration also. Means one can pay also, and it can be without consideration. It can be out of natural love and affection also. Because natural love and affection is also a consideration for the purpose of contract tax for transfer of property. So this is how the entire thing ends. Question answer will come. Hariram sir, will come to question answer. Let the two speaker complete. Okay.